Where the ongoing conversation surrounding state police is becoming louder, with major players making their opinions known.
And one of those adding their voice to the call is Senator representing Delta North, Ned Nwoko, who is also proposing a bill to allow Nigerians bear arms for self-defense, following the rise of insecurity across the country. The next report, tell us more. The Nigerian Firearm Act of 1959 provides that no person shall have in his possession or under his control any firearm or ammunition except such person has a license from the President or the Inspector General of Police. It further states that no license or permits to carry out firearms should be granted to the following people: applicants under the age of 17, persons who are unsound, persons not fit to have possession of the firearm in question or account defective eyesight, persons of interpret habit, or anyone who has been convicted of an offense involving violence or the threat of violence during previous years. But with the level of insecurity in the country, Senator Ned Nwoko believes Nigeria should be licensed to carry arms for self-defense. He says the idea of a bill to enable Nigerians to carry firearms to defend themselves is to also complement efforts of security agencies to ensure security of lives and property.
People should be allowed to defend themselves, but it's not everybody who should carry arms. There are different categories of people. If you go through my bill, there are different qualifications. Age is one of them. You have to be 35 years of age to have this ability to go for it. And we must go through a shooting school. Shooting range is one of those requirements. Every local government area is meant to have a shooting range school. And those shooting range schools should be owned and managed by former military guys who are familiar with weapons, who they know what to do with weapons. It's not for businessmen, for former military guys who have gotten to the level of at least a colonel in the army or the equivalent in the other forces. So when you spend like 2 months and you've gone through the shooting range school and you're certified to be able to use a weapon, not only in shooting, but maintaining and keeping safely. These are things that you must fulfill. Then you must go to your village or your town and get a certification from your king. Your king, with his chiefs, should know everybody.
With the prevailing security situation, many Nigerians have now resigned to fate, as it seems security agencies have constantly failed to guarantee the safety of lives and property. Ademola Lawrence, TVC News.
For more on the call for state police and self-defense, let's speak with the former Deputy Inspector General of Police, Joshak Habila, who joins us live in our Abuja studios.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, sir. Now, looking at the rising insecurity and the calls for state police, everyone has joined their voice to this call and thinking it is what Nigeria needs presently. Do you think this is able to nip the bud the issue of insecurity?
Well, of course, everyone is coming out to provide some solution as to how we can control insecurity in Nigeria. So the citizens or the government is not wrong to look the other way. But I would want just to remind them of the fact that when you talk about state police, there are a lot of things that are involved. It means that the government would want to, have the control of the police where they are in their states. But outside that, I would want to also say that there must be a level of maturity for us to say that we can have the state police, because the cost and some of the cost and some other things are likely to have constitute, a hindrance in doing an effective job. And so I would want, until these documents that have been prepared for state police is at the public glare, then we'll be able to know what exactly. But you know that right now the governors in the various states are members of the police council who could also proffer solution. And the commissioners of the police and the police officers in those states, in all the states, the governor have the right to talk with them, to cross-fertilize ideas with the commissioners of police in the various states, and of course, let them work as if the state is theirs. At the central level, I do not think that the Inspector General of Police would interfere in issues where it has to do with the lives of the people. And so, as it is now, I know that the governor have a leverage, have an opportunity to utilize the police in their state as if they were recruited by him, unless issues that tend to let the police out there as people who are taking side. And so we talk about state police, if they would have all what it takes to do. And then if we look at the document, we'll be able to talk. But I think a very good one is the community policing, where the people in the rural areas, people everywhere in the various local government, in the communities are brought in. They understand the terrain, they know who is who, and when they walk, they know they're walking at a place they know. And it is always very, very easy for them to fish out criminals within them. And so the government must think the other way, but I would want a situation where these documents for state police are made available. Then we can look at it and say the community policing, I think, is quite also.
Okay, so you talked about preferring solutions, and you as a former DIG, there have been calls that Nigerians should be able to defend themselves in terms of carrying arms. If you can see that the bill is already been discussed at the National Assembly,
yes.
And some are saying that, okay, is it a bad idea if Nigerians defend themselves carrying arms? First of all. Second of all, just yesterday, I think it was just yesterday, where the First Lady was talking about
capital
punishment for
kidnappers.
So let's look at those two scenarios.
Yes.
Do you think it can actually play out? Carrying arms and, of course, giving out capital punishments to kidnappers
when caught.
Yes, okay. Carrying out arms. You will know that in America, the Americans, they have those who are trained and those who are also lectured on the do's and the don'ts of firearms. They have, after training and after finding them, they're upstairs, very healthy, they do, but not everyone. But and some other few countries, but in this country, if you want everybody to carry arms and defend himself, I wouldn't understand what it is, because you need also to make them, to train them well, and the process of holding arms and the usage. If you don't take care, there's also going to be a lot of people more down innocently, because the process of carrying arms and its usage has to be from a very disciplined person and somebody who will be able to know at what time can he use the arms. And if we just give it out, it's also going to produce a very negative result. But of course, if the citizen of this country want to bear arms, then what kind of arms? And then there has to be training. Those are things that can be brought to the table for the government and the citizen to look at. And if we have I know that we have the capacity to, the government and the security agencies have the capacity to know who is to, carry arms, because one is for the protection of your individual and also the community. And if we can take time to do a training and to also be assured that these arms can be put to use for the interests of the defense of the person and other citizen, then of course it's not wrong. But there are processes that we have to look at and to study before we allow anybody to bear arms.
So now the growing agitations and insecurity that have been, especially in places that have been worse hit by this menace, seems to have been dying down, while some say it is because of the high cost of living, and maybe attention seems to have diverted. What's your take on this?
Well, it's surprising that we cannot use the issue of challenges of means of living and then the society, the community, I mean the economy and what have you. I don't think that's an excuse, but it's very unfortunate that years back when we were in service, we also had this, and then it seems it was not as much as this, because we have an opportunity to prevent, we have an opportunity to reduce to the barest minimum. Well, what I see, like what happened in Kaduna and Benue last night, is very frightening. And I think that we need to do something quickly to be able to prevent that. And I agree that the citizens are just waiting. The citizens want a situation where if the government and the security agencies cannot protect them, they would want to protect themselves. And so that's why I'm saying that when you start with this community policing is bringing out strong body individuals to take control with the supervision of other police officers, to be able to find out who is in this community that is doing what it is, or what has been happening, or who are those, because you will be able to know very well. If you have the knowledge of your community, you should be able to know who entered as a citizen, as a visitor, and what exactly does he want. And you have to understand the community, the way you're policing. And that's why in those days we have a police post right in the interior, and then we have another police station before you have a division. And in that community, you still see police officers waiting. They may not do much, but they will understand who is coming in newly, who is preparing to do what. But these are not there. And then even when you have them in the divisions, they are not in a number that you think you can deploy up to the local level. You also do not have accommodation for them. There are a lot of challenges in terms of logistics. This is from experience. I'm saying what I've seen, that we need to give more to the Nigerian police. And I think I can assure you that with the kind of performances they've done in other countries, when they go for foreign mission, we will be able to give an account. They will be able to give an account of themselves. There are a lot of things that are lacking. Some of the things that used to be in the past is not there. There's no police force. And so somebody will just come into a secondary school, pick the children, and walk away and take them out. He is not likely to say a police station. He is not likely to say anybody, policing the area, because most of the presence of the police are in the cities and in the local government. They are not in the rural areas, and that can't work.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Former Deputy Inspector General of Police, Joshak Habila, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Indeed, of course, the conversation that needs to continue. Insecurity is something that Nigeria really needs to deal with. We'll go on a